Hey, good evening, basketball fans. And my guest today is Ryan McDonough, the General Manager of the Phoenix Suns. Ryan, welcome to the Dignity Health Event Center and coming down to see Bakersfield play tonight.
Thanks, Rick. It's good to be here.
Ryan, how would you describe the Jam Suns affiliation this season?
Well, I think it's worked out really well. I think both sides have gotten a lot of benefits from it. It started even before training camp. We invited a few players to training camp. Joe Jackson, Casey Prather, Jamil Wilson, and Earl Barron. Earl is now with us in Phoenix. I thought he was one of the better big men in the D-League and played very well for the Jam and has had a good role for the Suns. And it's good to see some of those other young guys step up and play well for the Jam. And just to track the progression from the beginning of the year to now is impressive. And also we've kind of rotated 4 Suns players through the Jam at various points in the year. We had Tyler Ennis, T.J. Warren, Archie Goodwin and Reggie Bullock all spent some time in Bakersfield, and now some of those guys are playing well in Phoenix for the Suns. So I think it's been a really great partnership, not only in terms of development, but in terms of on-court production, both at the D-League level and at the NBA level.
Now, the Bakersfield Jam is leading the league in steals, and that's been a big positive for the Jam this year defensively. What is your assessment of head coach Nate Bjorker and the staff in getting them to play the style that you want?
Nate's done a terrific job. One of the things we emphasize in the Suns and with the Jam is to try to play in transition. Last year in Phoenix we led the league in fast break points. This year I believe we're second behind Golden State. So a lot of that starts by forcing turnovers at the defensive end. If you get steals, you can get outrun in transition. Nate's done an excellent job with that. He's also done a terrific job managing an ever-changing roster, and that's usually the way it goes in the D-League. But I feel like especially this year, to his credit, the Jam's had a few call-ups in addition to Earl Barron. Elijah Millsap got called up, and with players coming and going, getting sent down and then recalled, in our case back to Phoenix. He's done a terrific job managing all that and still putting a very good product on the court and winning a lot of games.
Ryan, you mentioned T.J. Warren was down here averaging about 20 points a game, had a game in which he scored 40 points, and now he's up there and he's getting more and more significant minutes. And how much confidence do those players that have come down, Archie, I know he was on assignment a couple times last year with the Jam, how much confidence have they gained, which is now translated for the NBA?
Well, I think it's helped those guys a lot. I mean, some of them were down here as recently as a month or two ago. And, we played the Dallas Mavericks on Sunday night in Phoenix. It was a critical game for us in terms of trying to stay in the playoff race in the Western Conference. And I believe T.J. Warren was 4 for 5 from the floor, had a number of big buckets for us. And Archie Goodwin probably made the 2 biggest plays of the game down the stretch on a driving finger roll and then an open 3 in a tie game that, gave us a 3-point lead with 2 minutes left. So, just the experience, I think, is tremendous. They're able to stay in shape. They're able to work on refining their game and trying to improve at a very competitive level in the D-League. And I don't think they would be able to have the success they're having now in Phoenix with the Suns without having that D-League experience this year.
Mm-hmm. And for Earl Barron, spent much of the time with the Jam this season, but he has the NBA experience, has a ring with Miami. How has his transition been?
Earl's been great. He's really, had a terrific year overall. It was really hard. He was the last guy we cut out of training camp. He was the 16th man on a 15-man roster, and that was a difficult decision for us. But to his credit, he kept working. He really expanded his game. He's improved his shooting even out to the 3-point line this year. And all the reports we got from Bakersfield were great in terms of his attitude and work ethic. And even though he's an older guy, a veteran guy, he continued to improve on and expand his game. And when we needed a big man, we had a few injuries and made a few trades, he was the first guy in mind, and we've guaranteed his contract for the rest of the year. And when his number's been called in Phoenix, he's done a terrific job.
As the NBA D-League playoffs approach and the Jam are in an absolute dogfight for the top spot with Austin and Santa Cruz, what does Bakersfield need to do to carry their regular season success in the playoffs? Because frankly, the Jam hasn't had a tremendous amount of success in the playoffs. Mm-hmm.
Well, every year is different, especially in this league. There's a lot of player turnover. As a new coach this year, Nate has a lot of experience. He's had a lot of success at the D-League level. So I think just keep playing their game. I think if you're one of the elite teams in any league, like the Jam are in the D-League, you don't really change what you're doing. You obviously try to do it as well as you can, and maybe tweak some things to do what you're doing a little bit better. But I wouldn't recommend they change much. I think as one of the top seeds, the other teams are going to try to have to match up to what Bakersfield does and adjust to what the Jam do.
And Ryan, final question. As the NBA season winds down, you're in a playoff fight with New Orleans and Dallas for that last spot. You talked about Oklahoma City for the last spot. You talked about some critical wins. You got Oklahoma City coming up again. What's it going to take for the Suns to get into the playoffs?
Yeah, I think we're 2.5 games back of Oklahoma City as we speak, with about 2.5 weeks to go in the season. So every game is critical for us. They're a terrific team. They've been playing great, especially since the All-Star break. Russell Westbrook's been at a different level. But at the same time, we're playing pretty well too. We've won 4 games in a row. We have Oklahoma City coming into our building in Phoenix on Sunday. That'll obviously be a huge game for us. But at the same time, we need to try to take care of business between now and then. We have Sacramento and Portland at home this week on Wednesday and Friday. So we just have to keep winning, keep the pressure on. They have the lead right now. They're the favorites as we sit. But last year we had a lead, and we were caught by Dallas and Memphis at the very end. So we're going to try to do the reverse to OKC this year.
Well, Ryan, we appreciate your time. Welcome back to Bakersfield, and continued success with everything you do. I know all the Jam faithful are excited for the affiliation with the Suns and how much you've contributed to the success of the Jam this year as well, and that we've helped the Suns as well.
Yeah, thanks, Rick. It's always good to be here in Bakersfield, and looking forward to the game tonight.
All right.